Now to a major hearing today in Georgia's 2020 election trial. 4 days after President Trump's arraignment, his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, will try to convince a judge to move his trial from state to federal court. Prosecutors alleging Meadows played a key role in a wide-ranging conspiracy to illegally claim President Trump won Georgia. Tom Dempsey explains why Meadows wants a federal trial instead of arguing his case with the state. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Marky, good morning. Yeah, just hours from now, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows will be in court as he tries to move the case involving alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election results from state to federal court. That's going to be the subject of this hearing. But no matter what happens, a lot of people are going to be watching the proceedings today because we could get an early preview of the legal arguments from the Fulton County District Attorney. Meadows, as well as former President Donald Trump and 17 others, face charges in this case. And the hearing today will mark the first time we hear District Attorney Fani Willis make some of the legal arguments in the courtroom. We expect testimony from Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, who received a call from the president in the days after the 2020 election when Mr. Trump asked him to find votes to help him win the state. That phone call now serves as a primary piece of evidence in this case, and Meadows actually helped set up that call when he worked as chief of staff. Now, for our viewers at home who are wondering, what sort of goes into this decision to move it from state to federal court, well, today, Meadows and his legal team will be trying to move the case, like we said, from state to federal court. And if he succeeds, that would widen the jury pool to areas with less Democratic support. A federal judge would also oversee the case, and the trial would not be televised. A key part of the arguments today will be on whether his conduct tied to the charges against him came as part of his role with the White House and if it was politically motivated or if he did it on his own. In court filings, the prosecution wrote, quote, every single one of these activities fell outside the scope of his duties. But Meadows' legal team defended the former chief of staff, writing, quote, these and the other acts that form the basis for the charges against Mr. Meadows all fall squarely within his conduct as chief of staff. Again, that's going to be a very key part of the hearing today. Also something to watch for back in here in D.C. in the federal election interference case. A trial judge could set a date for the trial to begin. The prosecution wants that to start in January of next year, while Mr. Trump's legal team wants that to wait until after the presidential election next year. So a lot to watch out for today, guys.
All right, Tom, we'll stay on it with you. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.